Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to let you in a little bit of my life before I got married. I was a wee youngin'. I was actually number 5 of 6, but 6 didn't come till I was 12. And this is my first Christmas. And a lot of times when you're one of the youngest, you don't get your portrait taken a lot, and that was the case with me. So I just have a few snapshots of when I was really little. I grew up in a very, very small town on the south shore of Long Island. When you grow up on Long Island, you grow up on Long Island, not in Long Island. And I lived with my parents, my 4 brothers and sisters, my 2 cousins, and my grandma. My nan came to live with us and helped take care of all of us when just about the time I was born. And I went to kindergarten in one school, and the whole rest of the time I went to just one other school before high school. As you could tell, I was always very bossy. And this is where I met Sharon. I met Sharon when we were 9, and we were friends ever since. I played sports forever. I played softball from the time I was 7 on a league. And then when I was 11, I joined the marching band. This was the local marching band at the church, the Sacred Heart Lamplighters. We did all kinds of activities in town. This was the junior fire tournament that we had every year. The local fire department put it on. And we basically just run drills like they would if they were the big firefighters. And like I mentioned before, when I was 12, my mom thought she was done having kids, and then surprise, she had my baby brother, who I always was convinced that he was mine until I was about 16 years old, and he wanted no part of it. Um, but we grew up in what I think is just like a 600,000 square foot house, not even, with, there was 10 of us at one point. So it was kind of tight, and we got to be very close. We did all the things that we could participate in for free. This is my middle school yearbook, which we called it junior high school at the time. And one of the great things about your last name being Adams is you're always in the front. You're in the front of the book. You're in the front of the classroom. You're in the front of the lists. It's wonderful. And I was in art club. I played softball. I played volleyball. I was on the yearbook staff. And I did all kinds of things. And some of my proudest moments were in middle school. I know a lot of kids don't like it, but I loved it. And then we went off to high school. And the high school where we lived, Island Park, was so small it didn't have its own high school. So they shipped us 20 minutes to West Hempstead, which 20 minutes when you live in the country isn't always very far, but when you live in the suburbs, 20 minutes is far. We went past about 7 or 8 towns just to get to West Hempstead. And then I participated in Hands Across America in 1986. And interesting fact, my 15th birthday is when they had Band-Aid, if anybody's interested. But I was in the marching band for a long time. We got to march for the Mets when they won the World Series. That was Darryl Strawberry, I believe that was. And we were state champions, FASNY state champions, which is the Fire Association State of New York. And they would have parades every weekend. The first time I got to dance with my dad was at my cousin's wedding, and it's just a memory I will never forget. And then when I turned 16, going on 17, I saved up my money from my first job, and me and Sharon went to California to go stay with my aunt. And I had to show you this picture because I was rocking the red Reeboks. I was red from head to toe. Red was and still is my favorite color, as you can tell by these pictures. And this red trench coat is absolutely famous because I wore it every day in high school. Every day I attended high school, I wore my red trench coat. And then these are just some family pictures from my cousin got married. And my very first selfie, a selfie. And I wanted to take a picture of this. This isn't me in this picture of this word holiday, but this was me when I was 16 years old, rocking the handwriting. I wrote that holiday backwards in snow spray. I just had to share that with you guys. And then later on in 1988, I was saved up my money to take a trip. Actually, it was spring of '88. I saved up my money to take a trip to Florida, which was the following spring break, with my sister Alicia and a friend from work. And then in '88, that's when the class of '88, graduated from high school. And again, top of the yearbook. Yay! Now, these are just some random pictures, but this M&M costume, and I'm sorry the picture is so degraded from the flood, but I made these for me and my mom. That's my mom on the left. She's the plain M&Ms, and I'm Peanut. And I just was so proud of these costumes. We didn't win a prize, I don't think, that year. But we did when we were the flowers, and you'll see them coming up in a minute. Now, I have mentioned before that my dad was very artistic and my mom was very craftsy. So she was always the one that inspired us to do these crazy costumes. So now I'm the chocolate scoop of a banana split. That's where I am at that Halloween. And this was just Thanksgiving of 1989. And I actually was at my biggest. At least I thought I was at the time then. And this was Christmas of '89. My brother dressed up as Santa Claus for the police department, and just some fun pictures. And here we are as the flower pots, the three daisies. My cousin Kathy, who's the one down below in the flower pot, she was always the brains behind it, and I was always the hands behind it. Yeah, so she came up with the ideas and I did the work. And don't you hate when your favorite picture of yourself is in a photograph that you really can hardly ever use? Yeah, me and male strippers. But I do like this picture of me and Pat LaFontaine, a hockey player. I joined the Islanders Booster Club, and it was so fun. We got to meet everybody and get all dressed up and dolled up. And then when my brother Pete got married, there's very special moments. It was just unfortunately right after my mother had passed away. Really, like a month after my mom had passed away. But my sister-in-law let us know that she was going to have a baby, and this is her baby shower. We were just so excited. My sister also had a baby. They were about 3 weeks apart from each other. And then my oldest sister Jane graduated from college. Though it was sad because mom was not there, it was all good times to be had. And we knew that she wouldn't want us to wallow down in sadness. She would want us to go ahead and enjoy all of the goodness that comes with life. I am not only Peter's aunt, I'm also his godmother. And then me and Sharon, when we went to the convention in Florida for Tupperware, we went to Disney World. Those were good times, and just some random fun things. Now, as you notice in all of these pictures, I have always been a heavy person. I was a fat baby, I was a chubby toddler, I was a portly little girl. And I just always have been, and I always love myself. And one thing I'll tell you, which you guys, if you notice now, is quite different than 10 or 15 years ago, is how much hair I had. Hair was everywhere. And don't you love those 80s hairdos? We're just rocking those 80s hairdos. I got to meet Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. Just being in New York City, being in New York, I'm sorry, close to the city, you're around with opportunities. I bowled in a league until till after I met Jim, actually. And then I attended my 10-year high school reunion, which was so much fun to see all these people that I hadn't seen forever. And of course, with Sharon. And then was loving this dress, by the way. This was after Titanic came out, and I thought that this was my quote-unquote rose dress. It was this beautiful silver lace, and I loved it. Now, here's one thing you guys may not know about me. Do you know how much I love to dance? Well, that's going to have to be a story for another time. So I hope you really enjoyed this glimpse into me. With my birthday coming up, I thought it would be nice to share. I have so many stories to tell you guys. I wish I could just spend the entire time vlogging. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, and I'm sure you will because it went by kind of fast, leave them down below. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And do it. Join the family. It's a lot of fun. And as always, you take care. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.